Hello and welcome students. In the continuation of Module 5 of Energy and Environment Engineering, today I am going to start Environment Protection Act. Increasingly serious environmental degradation events during the last century have given a strong impetus to meet for taking effective steps for environment protection. As the name of this act says, it is an act to provide for the protection and improvement of environment and for matter connected therewith. The concern over the state of environment has grown the world over since the 60s. The decline in environmental quality by increasing population, loss of biodiversity, excessive concentration of harmful chemicals in food chains, growing risk of life support system. From time to time, various legislation related to protection of environment have been passed by Indian legislature. However, Environment Protection Act 1986, most comprehensive act to protect environment. I will discuss this act under following heads like introduction, various acts, the scheme of this act, environment protection rules and schedules, objectives and functions, and penalties. Now the introduction of this act. It is a general legislation for the protection of environment. It was passed in March 1986 under Article 253 of the Constitution and came into force on 19th November 1986. The world community resolved to protect and enhance the environment quality found expression in the decisions were taken at the United Nations Conference on Human Environment Health in Stockholm, June 1972. This act, Environment Protection Act 1986, came into force soon after the Bhopal gas tragedy and is considered an umbrella legislation because it fills many gaps in the existing laws. It has various acts. Various legislations are passed in India exclusively for the environment protection are the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, the Forest Conservation Act 1980, the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Now, a scheme of this act. The act consists of 26 sections divided into 4 chapters. Chapter 1 includes Section 1 and 2. It covers short title and explanation of the terms related to environment and sustainable development. Chapter 2 includes Section 3 to 6. It covers general powers of the central government. Chapter 3. It includes Section 7 to 17. It covers prevention, control and abatement of environmental pollution. Chapter 4 includes Section 18 to 26. It covers miscellaneous regulations and jurisdiction. Several schedules dealing with the emission of standards, air, noise, effluents, etc. have been appended to the Act. Various rules, including environment protection, have been framed under this Act. Now, Environment Protection Rules 1986 and its schedule. Schedule 1. It includes the standards of emission and discharge of environmental pollutants from industries, processes or operations and their maximum allowable limits of concentration. Schedule 2 covers general standards for discharge of effluent and their maximum limits of concentration allowable. Schedule 3 lists ambient air quality standard in respect of noise and its maximum allowable limits. Schedule 4 gives standards for emission of smoke, vapor from motor vehicles and maximum allowable limits of their emission. Schedule 5th, furnishing of information to authorities and agencies. Schedule 7, it gives general information about general standards for discharge of environmental pollutants. Schedule 7, it is incited for National Ambient Air Quality Standards. Now, objectives and functions of Environment Protection Act. To provide protection and improvement of the environment, to prevent environmental pollution in all its forms, to tackle specific environmental problems and pollution control that are peculiar to different parts of the country, to coordinate the activities of various regulatory agencies already in existence, to appoint environment officers to check the environmental pollution, to improve the quality of life by protection of environment and establishing environmental laboratories, to protect the forest and wildlife in country, to conserve fossil fuel reserves by using alternative energy resources, biological control of pest, using natural predator to eat pests instead of pesticides, set aside lands for animals to prevent overgrazing and destruction, to lay down standards for emission or discharge of environmental pollutants from various sources whatsoever. Now, penalties. Section 15 of this Act provides for penalties. This Act provides that any person who fails to comply or contravenes any of the provision of the Act or the rules or orders or directions issued under the Act or rules, then for such failure of or contravention, he or she shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may be extended to 5 years, with fine which may extend to 1 lakh rupee or with both. In case the failure or contravention continues after the conviction for first failure or contravention, an additional fine which may extend to 5,000 for every day can be imposed for a long during which failure or contravention continues. If the failure or contravention continues beyond the period of 1 year after conviction, the offender shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may be extended to 7 years.